Hi, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds. A couple years back, I put a sensor in my refrigerator so I could tell what the temperature and the humidity was in there. Well, I bought some more. I bought another one for the freezer, and I bought one for the actual camper. When I get back, I'm going to open up these boxes, and we're going to talk a little bit more about them.
Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream Nerds.
This is the SensorPush Smart Sensor HT1 humidity and temperature sensor. Now, this is the same model that I already have in the refrigerator, but I decided to buy a second one so I could stick it in the freezer. Now, I did purchase these. They weren't a comp from the company. So this is the sensor. You notice it's small. The one that I already have in the refrigerator comes with a little sticky pad, and I'll show you how to add this to your system in a minute. Let's open the other one. This one, I decided to buy this one. I figured if I already had the refrigerator covered, might as well have the actual interior of my camper covered. Now, this is just for fun. It's not that important. I do not have the gateway, nor do I plan on getting it, so I can only tell the temperatures and the humidity and the barometric pressure when I'm physically near the camper. They do have a gateway, and if you have internet capabilities, which we don't have many times when we're camping, so I didn't feel the need to do the gateway. So the battery comes stuck to the top. Now this is what kind of battery is this? Can you see that there? It is a CR2477. It's a lot thicker than the 2032s, but it's about the same size. This sensor comes in an anti-static bag. Now, I bought these a while ago, so I do not remember what the cost was. Oh yeah, see, this battery has an actual battery module. But I did not see a piece of sticky. So you got the full manual, tells you exactly how to set them all up. So I will probably end up using the sticky off of this one, because I'm just going to put this in the freezer door and use the sticky on this one and stick it somewhere, maybe up by the coat hook or something, just somewhere inside the camper where I can check the temperatures when I want to. Alright, so let me go ahead and open up the app and let's see what we got. So this is the app, and this is the current sensor that is in my fridge. I just turned the refrigerator on, so it should be going down shortly. And I just hit add a device. I'm going to try to add this thing. So we're going to, as you see at the bottom, when you hit add a device, the menu pops up. We're going to add this sensor. I'm going to hold my sensor over the image. It picked it up. Now I am going to name this Airstream Freezer. So as you can see, you can set it for a high limit and a low limit with alerts. I don't have any of that set up. Same thing, alerts with the humidity. You can turn those on. But I just really want to know what the temperature is. Alright, I was just looking. So now we go back to here and we can look at the Airstream freezer is 90.4. It should be falling. Oops, I got the wrong one. There it is. It should be falling right now, which you can see. Same with the humidity is falling. Let me go ahead and pop this into the freezer. Now I've just put it in the freezer door. You may not see it falling right now. Okay. So let me go ahead and put the battery in this other sensor, but I'm going to have to get something to do that with. Let's see. I'm going to do this primitive Pete style, so I don't have to go get any tools. I'm just going to use the end of a spoon on this one. You turn the door. Pretty simple here. Drop the battery in. Make sure that you don't have the door cross-threaded, and you close it back in. Now I'm going to add another device. Tells you to put the sensor over here. It comes up. It's updating the firmware on this one. So we'll just have this sitting here for a few minutes or a few seconds. Now you may or may not receive the same firmware update. Depends on how new your sensor is. But you can see it doesn't take that long. Now these are, I forget what the cost is, but these are a little bit expensive. But I've had it for several years. Never had any issues with it. It's always worked. The battery lasts for a really long time. And that's enough for me. So we have the freezer, we have the fridge, and we have the interior. Now I can tell you right now that I've been in the camper here for a little while, but I did just turn the air conditioner on, and it is a 90-degree day outside, so it's working to get the temperature down. As you can see, since we were on here a minute ago, the freezer temperature has dropped. We'll check back in later. I'll give this a few hours and we'll see where we're at. So as you can see, it's been almost a couple of hours since I turned on the refrigerator and first got the devices connected to the system. Now, as you can see, the temperatures have dropped substantially. Now the ammonia absorption type refrigerators, they take a long time to get cooled down. So these numbers are not going to be realistic probably until tomorrow morning. At that point, if they're not down to where they should be, we have an issue. Now you click on this, you get some nice history type settings. Now these are the HT1s. Now like I said, the HT1s are the two that I have in the freezer and the fridge. They only have temperature and humidity. That's the only thing they check. Now the larger one, which is the HTP model, that one shows the temperature, the relative humidity, the barometric pressure, the dew point, and there is another setting in here, but if you really are a weather nerd, you can, the vapor pressure deficit. I kind of am a weather nerd a little bit, and I don't even know what that is. So if you are and you want to keep it on, it does give you all the different settings in here. You can hit the little I button and it pulls out information. And again, just like the other things, you can set the high limit temperatures or low limit, and you get all kinds of notifications. I'm not really using this for notifications, so I'm just going to keep it like that. Also, it gives the latest, the temperatures and everything's are falling, so you do know that it is getting cooler. Unlike the refrigerator down here where it says it's rising. It's only rising because I'm impatient. I keep opening the daggone door. So any little bit of cold air that's in there is going to leave. But I know that the refrigerator is working because the freezer is all the way down to in the 50s, high 50s now. So at some point, once the freezer gets cold, the air will end up cooling the refrigerator compartment. So the SensorPush sensors are really great, and like I said earlier, there is a Wi-Fi gateway that you can hook up, and you can remotely access the temperature data from anywhere you have internet access. But as something, you know, we travel with, we camp with our pets, with our dogs, and while we don't ever go anywhere and leave them in our camper, some people do. We go camping to get away, to relax. Occasionally we'll do sightseeing, but only really if we can take our dogs and walk, you know, to a waterfall or whatever, if we can take our pets with us. We don't like to leave them in the camper because you never know. Power goes out, air conditioning goes out. They do make devices that will monitor your camper, but like I said, where we go, there is no good cell service, there's no Wi-Fi, and all those types of devices rely on cell service and or Wi-Fi to notify you when the temperature gets to a certain level, so you can come in and make sure the well-being of your pets. In my opinion, this is not that kind of device unless you are at a campground where the Wi-Fi is great or cell service is great. If you're in the mountains or the boonies and you can't get any bars on your phone at all, chances are your dog protection device will not either, or cat or whatever pet you bring. So in my opinion, this device is not well suited for that. However, if you're a nerd, a weather nerd, or an Airstream nerd, and you like these types of gadgets, which I kind of do, I like to know the temperature inside of my refrigerator. I want to make sure that my food is cold. I want to make sure that I don't have any, because how else are you going to know if your refrigerator is working other than the temperature? Hey, boy, this thing's been on for 3 days and our temperature is 70 degrees. What's going on? We have it set to the coldest setting. Those are the types of things where my lazy rear end doesn't want to get up and walk over and to check it. I can just look right here and know that, yep, temperature's where it's supposed to be. Or in the example, we're sitting out in our campground and we've been sitting out there all afternoon. Air conditioning like it is now is humming away. But maybe the compressor, the coolant is gone, or the coils are frozen, or there's all kinds of things, and it's blowing hot air on a hot summer day in here, and you don't know. So I'm sitting outside for 3 or 4 hours. Meanwhile, the animals inside are sweltering. So it's nice to have something like that to monitor the conditions inside of your camper if you have some sort of living being in there. I mean, it could even be for a child. I mean, maybe you have a baby and you're camping with a baby and the baby's taking a nap and you'd like to make sure that your child is not in here when it's 80 degrees. It's probably not going to physically hurt them, but it's certainly not comfortable to be in a camper when it's 85 degrees in here or 90 degrees in here. So that's why I kind of have these devices, and I kind of like these devices. Once again, this is Jeff.
And Jenny.
And we're the Airstream Nerds. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, put any comments below, and we'll see you on the next trip.